Hello everyone, this is Angelia Martinez and I will be telling you about the amazing life of Miss Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Miss Stanton, in her early life, she was an amazing woman who has done so much for the women of this country. Born on November 12th of 1815 to Daniel Cady and Margaret Livingston Cady, they decided to name their daughter Elizabeth Cady. As a young girl, Elizabeth was raised in a household where her father was a slave owner and did not believe in women having rights. But just the opposite of her father, her mother was strong-willed, and this was most likely where Elizabeth was influenced that women should have rights. Her mother even wanted women to have the right to vote in church. All of her brothers, at a young age, passed away. This devastated her father, causing him to tell her that, "Oh, how I wish you were a boy." And she replied, "I will try to be all my brother was." I believe that this is the turning point onto how her life would turn out, especially since she was trying to satisfy a father who desired having his sons. Here we are where her real life begins. As a young woman, Elizabeth started to study Greek, mathematics, chess, equestrian arts, philosophy, and even read anything she wanted in the Cady Library. Many of these subjects only ignited her passion for her intellect. She would go to boarding school, where she would go on later to say there were not many classes that she hadn't already studied. So after graduating from the Jonestown Academy, she wanted to go to Union College, but at the time, no college in the country admitted women. This is also the college that her father graduated from and her brother-in-law, who she deeply admired. After finishing up in school, she decided she wanted to go to Peterborough to live with her cousin Gerrit Smith. Her cousin, Gerrit Smith, is who Elizabeth gives credit to by giving her a new inspiration in life and new ideas of individual rights. Everyone in Smith's household was an abolitionist, even the coachman. There was one point where he even committed himself to a mental asylum. Smith's mansion was a station on the Underground Railroad. Her life continues in Peterborough, where she would meet an abolitionist agent named Henry Stanton. Henry, as her brother-in-law, was 10 years Elizabeth's senior. But this did not affect the way she fell in love with him. He was her brave knight who would not convert angry groups and is a great speaker. After knowing this man who she wanted to marry, they went on a horseback riding trip, and this is where Henry surprised Elizabeth by proposing to her, and of course she accepted. Not only did she find someone to love, but also Henry would provide the support for her to fulfill her full potential. Her new life and freedom. Elizabeth and Henry wed. After they wed, they traveled to London to attend the First World Anti-Slavery Convention. After that, they decided to move back to the States. This is where Elizabeth would have 3 children with Henry, while he was off tending to abolitionist matters and not being at home. And while tending to the children, she lobbied for the New York Women's Property Act. In case you didn't know what the New York Women's Property Act is, it is an act that would protect a woman's right to own property even while married, which was not very common in those days. Elizabeth decided to move her children and herself to the country. But as you would find out, she did not think she would get tired of the housework. But after her children caught malaria, she was soon tired of the life she was living. Her new life 2.0. After becoming exhausted with the housework, she decided to join her friends Lucretia Mott, Martha Wright, and Marianne McClintock to discuss setting up a convention for the desires and the rights of women, and to change the way that women are viewed to society. Elizabeth Stanton was known for her efforts in writing the Declaration of Sentiments for the Seneca Falls Convention and for organizing the women's suffrage movement. In the end, Elizabeth Cady Stanton was a selfless, courageous, and one of the most determined women there was. She did help significant strides for women's rights. This is a quote directly from Elizabeth Cady Stanton. "It is the duty of women of this country to secure to themselves their sacred right to the elect." I hope you enjoyed this presentation of Miss Elizabeth Cady Stanton and what she has done in her life. Thank you.